In the headlines, a former employee of the city of Rocky Mount is in hot water amidst allegations of embezzlement and fraud. Police are investigating the shooting death of a Rocky Mount man. Area businesses are equipping themselves against crimes, and a startling new report helps put an assessment on poverty in America. These stories and more coming up on NewsBreak starting now.
From WHIG-TV, this is NewsBreak 31. Now, here's Marie Torres.
Hello and thanks for watching WHIG-TV NewsBreak, your voice in the community. I'm Marie Torres. Major news for the city of Rocky Mount, one that even prompted a letter from the city manager. A city employee for nearly 30 years is now charged for embezzlement. We'll get to this in just a moment, but first, in our crime report, police are investigating the shooting death of a Rocky Mount man this week. According to authorities, 20-year-old Jermaine Latrey Flowers was gunned down at a home on 737 Sunset Avenue nearing midnight Monday. Police say the home was occupied by at least 15 people, 8 of them children. Another man was also injured. It's reported that an unknown male, possibly the gunman, who is between 5'8" and 5'10" tall, may have fled on foot toward Western Avenue after the shooting. The man was wearing a blue shirt and dark pants. Anyone with information on this crime should contact Crime Stoppers at 252-977-1111. The cause of death for an 80-year-old woman killed in Wilson has yet to be determined. According to Pitt County Medical Examiner's Office in Greenville, what killed Wilson resident Barbara Adams is now pending a toxicology report that could take some weeks to conclude. Wilson police says her alleged attacker, 56-year-old James Bynum, is still being held behind bars under a $250,000 bond after the September 1st attack. She was found on the 700 block of Sugg Street after a 911 caller said she heard a woman screaming near 2 a.m. Police say when they arrived, they found Adams unresponsive with an injury to her head. Bynum was standing beside the victim when police arrived. They say it is possible he may have also sexually assaulted her. It's believed Adams and Bynum did not know each other. According to North Carolina Department of Correction, Bynum was convicted in 2002 of 2 counts of larceny and first-degree trespassing and 1 count of resisting an officer. He spent about 2 months in jail for those crimes. Adams's funeral will be held tomorrow at 11 a.m. at St. John AMEZ Church on 119 North Pender Street in Wilson. We will be keeping you updated with the latest in this case. A former employee of the city of Rocky Mount is in hot water amidst allegations of embezzlement and fraud. Just released from Rocky Mount Police Tuesday is a report of charges being brought against newly terminated city water treatment plant worker, 53-year-old Gary Ronald Weeks. This came last month after police received information from city manager Charles Penny of possible criminal activity. Police say they've been investigating the claims of fraud over several months. Weeks was fired from the city on August 30th. Though details are scarce, we do know from police that Weeks was indicted by a Nash County grand jury Monday and was charged with 9 counts of embezzlement by a government official, 3 counts of obtaining property by false pretenses, and 1 count of felony larceny. By Tuesday afternoon, he had both turned himself into authorities and posted a $110,000 bond. His court date is scheduled in Nash County Superior Court on October 24th. However, Penny anticipates the case will be docketed until 2012. Tuesday, Penny released a letter to the media about this case. In that letter, he states, quote, "As this incident is now a criminal matter and will be prosecuted in court, I cannot relay further details at this time. However, I want to assure the public that the city of Rocky Mount strictly adheres to government accounting and financial practices. We recognize our responsibility for managing employee performance and stewardship of public funds. In view of this incident, our city management team will conduct a thorough review of our accounting and controls and purchasing procedures and will be implementing additional necessary controls to prevent similar incidents in the future, end quote. Weeks had been an employee with the city's Department of Water Resources and was most recently serving as water treatment plant maintenance supervisor. When we return on Newsbreak, more help is out there for victims of Hurricane Irene, and the president says he has an answer to the massive underemployment problem in the nation. He came to our state to gain support for it. These stories and more right after these words. We're your news team, bringing it home to you with meteorologist Fred Holdsworth, anchor Marie Torres, sports reporter Edward Green, and Matt Havitt, our studio guy. WHIG-TV Newsbreak, your voice in the community.
The Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The business center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donovan Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Welcome back to WHIG-TV Newsbreak. I'm Marie Torres. Shop owners, managers, and business security workers are equipping themselves against crimes. Tuesday, the Retail Coalition of Rocky Mount held one of many meetings to come with the Rocky Mount Police Department. The crowded room was a sign that our local commerce is fed up with being targets and are joining together to make the business community both safer and prosperous. Police, along with guest speaker Robert Evans, the district attorney for Edgecombe, Nash, and Wilson counties, inform those in attendance about laws, tips on protecting themselves and their products, as well as what to do when taking an alleged criminal to court.
Communication, I think what you need to do and what you need to tell your loss prevention people is that we don't know these cases and these calendars are so large. If there's something special about your case, this person is a frequent flyer, they've come to your business before, we need to do something about them. The judge needs to know that they won't stay away, they won't stop stealing, they were particularly nasty. If there's something that the court needs to know, it's incumbent on you to communicate that to us, because we're not going to know it otherwise. We don't know what we don't know. Now, some people might say that that's sort of I guess a jaded idea, but it's not. It's not that we don't care, but it's that the sheer volume of cases makes it impractical for us, if we got 100 larcenies on the calendar, to know something specific about each one of those larcenies on a day-to-day basis. If there is something specific about the larceny, if there is something specific about the defendant that you think is relevant, number one, to how justice is administered in that case, and number two, to how it affects your bottom line, you need to tell us.
For businesses who missed the meeting, there is scheduled to be another one near the holiday shopping season. You can also sign up for the police department's e-policing system to get email updates and tips on how to protect you and your business all year long. In other news, a startling new report helps put an assessment on poverty in America. According to the latest from the U.S. Census Bureau released Tuesday, was the number of Americans in poverty, which jumped to 15.1% in 2010, a 27-year high. That means that nearly 1 in 6 people, or 46.2 million, were in poverty. This figure is up from 43.6 million, or 14.3% in 2009. The 2010 calculation nation is the highest level since 1983. Factors also calculated include those lacking health insurance and unemployment. The latest data in 2009 shows that 15.6% of people in Nash County were living under the poverty line, compared to the U.S.'s 14.3% that year. Wilson's poverty rate was 20.3%, and in Edgecombe County, the poverty rate was 25.7%. Speaking of those without, the president says he has an answer to the massive or underemployment the nation is facing. He calls it his jobs bill. Yesterday, President Obama delivered his much-anticipated speech at North Carolina State University. Here's some of what he said the bill will do for Americans.
I love you back. That starts But if you love me, you got to help me pass this bill. If you love me, you got to help me pass this bill. It starts with your help. You've got some Republicans in Washington who said that some of this stuff may have to wait till the next election. They've said maybe we can just kick our problems down the road and stretch this thing out rather than work together right now. Some of them were even quoted as saying, even if they agreed with some of the things in this bill, that they don't want to pass it because it would give me a win. Give me a win? Give me a break. We've been grappling with a crisis for 3 years, and instead of getting folks to rise up above partisanship in a spirit that says we're all in this together, we got folks who are purposely dividing. This isn't about me. This isn't about giving me a win. This isn't about giving Democrats or Republicans a win. It's not about positioning for the election. It's about giving the American people a win. That's what it's about. You've got some Republicans in Congress, they like to talk about how we're in favor of America's job creators. Well, you know what? If you're in favor of America's job creators, this is your bill. This will actually help America's job creators. So we need to pass this jobs bill right away. In North Carolina alone, there are 153 structurally deficient bridges that need to be repaired. 4 of them are near here, on or around the Beltline. Why would we wait to act until another bridge falls?
To review the full text of the president's bill, you can go online to www.whitehouse.gov. Before going to the university, the president also stopped into Apex, North Carolina to speak with a small business there. Beginning at noon today through Saturday, there will be more help to victims of Hurricane Irene. Edgecombe County's administration building in Tarboro is a short-term disaster recovery hub to dispersing emergency aid. The center, which is located at 201 St. Andrew Street, will be open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. until Saturday and 1 to 6 p.m. Sunday. There to assist victims are FEMA, the North Carolina Division of Emergency Management, and other agencies. They will be explaining assistance programs and helping survivors apply for disaster aid. According to county officials, if you are seeking aid from FEMA, you must file a complaint with an insurance company first. Then individuals and businesses need to apply for a small business administration loan. If you are interested in receiving aid, you are asked to bring a Social Security number, total household income, and a complete list of damages and losses. And there's also help out there for our local farmers recuperating from damages from the hurricane. Farmers in Nash and Edgecombe counties whose crops were damaged can apply for low-interest loans through the USDA. The funds can also be used to pay essential family living expenses and to restore agricultural equipment and structures. Those farmers interested in applying need to do so by May 1st. The loans go up to $500,000. Contact your local Department of Agriculture for more information. After the break, it's the latest in sports and weather. Stay with us.
Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We're filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The business center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donna Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Thanks for staying with us. It's now time to take a look at our forecast and WHIG-TV weather. Here's meteorologist Fred Holdsworth with that update. Fred?
Big change on the way for the next couple of days as we see our first really good shot of fall weather come in here. And this will be courtesy of a cold front, which will be pushed by high pressure up over the northern tier of states, giving us a temperature for a high in the mid-60s tomorrow, and then about the same thing for Saturday. Also accompanying this weather change, we'll see rain. And this won't really be in the form of thunderstorms as we really get into the event. It'll be more of a widespread rain. And we'll have thunderstorms to start off with in the area as the cold front comes through, but then we'll shift over to more of a stratiform or general widespread type of rain. Let's look at our forecast map and we'll see what's going to happen here. Have rain and thunderstorms from the northern part of Florida all the way up into Canada. And you see the cold front will be stretching across, just moving into our mountains. This low pressure system forming along the front, these lows that form on the front tend to slow the motion of the front down and be a little slower getting in here. But the rain all the way back over Texas, and they are certainly dancing in the streets over that forecast as this cold front will push all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Here's a high pressure system that is going to be pushing that cooler weather towards us, giving the northern tier of states up around North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin fair weather, and then to the south of it, rain and thunderstorms over the Intermountain region, rain and thunderstorms also over the Pacific Northwest. This will be in conjunction with a triple point low break right over here over the Alberta province of Canada. Low pressure also along the California-Mexico border, and they will be seeing some fair skies over the coast of Oregon and all the way down the California coast, all the way down through the Baja Peninsula of Mexico. Well, let's look now at our forecast for our area and see what we can expect for the next few days. Sunny, then we'll see a chance of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon with a high of 91, west wind at 8. Chance of rain and thunderstorms tonight with a low of 57. Winds will be west 5 to 10 miles per hour. They'll gust up around 25 later on this evening. Friday, slight chance of rain with a high of 65. North wind 10 to 15. It'll gust up around 25. For Friday night, rain with a low of 54. North wind at 8. Saturday, rain with a high of 67, north wind at 10. For Saturday night, light rain or drizzle with a low of 58. Sunday, some drizzle during the morning, otherwise cloudy with a high of 75. Sunday night, cloudy with a low of 58, and partly cloudy on Monday with a high of 79 and a low of 60 on Monday night. Our high temperature yesterday in Rocky Mount, 93 degrees. Our low this morning was 65. No rainfall during the past 24 hours. We should see some during the next 24. The extremes for the country yesterday, the highest temperature reported was 104 degrees. That occurred at Killeen, Texas, and the lowest was 25 degrees. That was at Scobie, Montana. The heaviest amount of rainfall yesterday, 2 inches at Colorado Springs, Colorado. And that's a look at your Tri-County weather. Now back to you.
All right, thank you, Fred. And with me now in sports is Edward Green. Tell us what's in your report today, Edward.
Well, Marie, we got some great football news coming up. We got another fantastic game of the week, as always, that can be seen right here on WHIG TV. And we're going to get to a team that, because they weren't actually at the Big East Conference Media Day, this is the first time we're really going to get to talk to the coach. So some interesting insights we got now.
Okay.
Well, the last 2 weeks we have been able to watch Southwest Edgecombe on our game of the week here, a team that has been very successful in recent years, but this year has hit a bit of a slump. Well, Wilson Fike is in a similar situation now. As recently as 2008, they were 9-4, but over the last 2 seasons, they have won only 4 games. Now, new head coach Tom Nelson is trying to bring Fike back out of this current valley, but has a tough test coming up this Thursday night in a non-conference game against rival Hunt. And I spoke with Coach Nelson this week at practice to get his thoughts on turning the program around, as well as his methods of turning his team into a contender. So we're out here at Wilson Fike High School with Coach Tom Nelson. And Coach Nelson, this is your first year of coaching Wilson Fike. What's the experience been like for you?
The experience has been great. The kids have done everything we've asked them to do. They've worked hard. Unfortunately, the wins and losses hadn't turned out the way we wanted to, but that's all going to come in time. The kids have done everything we asked them to do, and they've worked hard. And like we told everybody that we talked to, we are a work in progress. So we're getting better, and hopefully we'll get better tomorrow night.
Well, you guys have started the year 1-3, but it's been a very tough schedule so far. Not getting any easier, like you said, against Hunt in a rivalry game this Thursday night. What are some of the keys going to be to that game against Hunt?
Well, offensively, we're going to have to take care of the football, and we're going to have to concentrate on getting first downs. Defensively, we're going to have to stay in great position, and we're going to have to tackle, and we're going to have to limit their big plays.
What are some of the things taking over for the new team? What are some things you guys still got to work on, but what are some things that are also already in place that you guys can build on towards winning games?
The one thing is we have a lot of kids in our program and that have stuck around and who want to be part of this, so that's good. There's just a lot of day-to-day things that we needed to work on as far as practice tempo and conditioning and gaining strength in the weight room. So overall there were some things in place, but we have really tried to put our stamp on the program and get us moving in the right direction.
And what is kind of the Tom Nelson stamp on the program? What do you bring bring and want to make sure that you instill in these kids?
Well, the main thing is we're going to be strong. We're going to be in the weight room. We're going to get our work done there. We're going to be physical. We're going to be in great shape. We're not going to make mistakes, and we're going to play aggressive, smart football the way it's supposed to be played.
What's one of the tough parts? Vike hasn't had a winning season since 2008 when they went 9-4. What's kind of one of those challenges of turning around a program that's been in a little bit of a valley for a while?
The biggest thing is the mentality of the kids. Getting them to believe in themselves and to believe that they can win has been one of our biggest hurdles. You know, we have big kids here. We have strong kids. We have fast kids. We really have everything we need to be successful, and we just got to change the mindset.
And so you will start with Hunt this Thursday night. It's a non-conference game, even though you guys are both in the Big East. You'll meet up with them again at the end of the regular season before the playoffs. And just before we go into conference play, what are some things you're looking at going forward from him as you enter Big East?
What we have said every week, we want to try to get better this week. I think we took a couple steps backwards last week. So this week, you know, offensively, we're going to try to take care of the football. We're going to try to get first downs and control the football and control the tempo of the game. Defensively, we want to see kids in position and playing fundamental football and making tackles and swarming to the football.
And lastly, before we go, how important was it to get that very first win against Bedingfield and get your program going in the right direction?
It was great. It was great for our kids. It was great for our community to get a little taste of success, because these kids have really put a lot into it. They worked hard, and they deserve some good things to happen.
And thank you to Coach Nelson, and you can catch that game Saturday morning here at 11. Now on to the rest of this week's slate. Northern Nash goes to Wilmington to battle undefeated Laney. Southern Nash puts its perfect record on the line in Creedmoor as the Firebirds play South Granville. Southwest Edgecombe opens up its conference season looking for its first win as it hosts Kinston. North Edgecombe looks to rebound after losing big to Tarboro with its first conference game as it heads to Southeast Halifax. And the Vikings go to North Pitt to try to extend their still intact conference winning streak to 9 games. Nash Central goes to Newbern in the Bulldogs' last tune-up before Big East play. Likewise for Rocky Mount as the Griffons welcome rival and former conference foe J.H. Rose from Greenville. And once again, our game of the week is Fike at Hunt. This is a non-conference meeting. The two teams will play again the last week of the season in the game that counts for the Big East standings. That game will be at Fike. And so, Marie, some good football games being played in our area as conference play is right around the corner for some, starting this week for others. And we want to remind everybody that the Hunt-Fike game is tonight, Thursday night, and we've checked with a lot of the schools. As of earlier today, it seems that most of the other schools are leaving it at Friday. So I mean, there's been some talk about the weather, but it seems that for right now, Fike Hunt is the only game that has been moved to Thursday. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Edward.
All right, thanks, Marie.
That's all for us here today on NewsBreak. Join us again next week for our live news at noon. For WHIG TV, I'm Marie Torres. We'll see you next time.